صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Inshallah, as we progress throughout we're going to do 11 evenings. Inshallah, as we progress, we could let other people know to come and join us for our program, inshallah. We're going to begin tonight. We're going to have Samat al-Sheikh. Inshallah, as we progress, he's going to get up and do some Quran for us. So let's have a loud salawat ala Muhammad and Ali Muhammad for him, please.
Not good. السلام عليكم. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. I apologize for the delay. I forgot my eyeglasses on the desk. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا. Thank you. فأتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمئة ووجد عندها قوما قلنا يا ذا القرنين إما أن تعذب وإما أن تتخذ فيهم حسنا. قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. وأما من آمن وعمل صالحا فله جزاء الحسنى وسنقول له من أمرنا يسرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديه خبرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونهما قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض
مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما آتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال آتوني يفرغ عليه قطرا فما استطاعوا أن يظهروه وما استطاعوا له نقبا قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حقا وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
Let's honor Samat al-Sheikh for the beautiful recitation, please. Have a loud salawat ala Muhammad and ala Muhammad. Next, we're going to begin with our lecture. So the way it's going to be structured, we're going to have a lecture for about 30 minutes. Then we're going to have some poetry. Then we're going to have a Modulus, inshallah. So one quick note, if you have a cell phone, please make sure it's in the off position or in silent so we don't have any interruptions, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's bring our speaker up, Samat al-Sheikh, Dr. Ibrahim Kazaruni. Let's have a loud salawat ala Muhammad and ala Muhammad, please.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونشكره على ما هدانا ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessing that we receive and all the guidance. We convey our salutation and greeting to the Holy Prophet of Islam and his pure progenies. Sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I proceed, I would like to share the sorrow and sadness that befalls everyone during the month of Muharram and brings with it all the attempts to understand, commemorate, commiserate this tragic event. That inshallah during our program we would endeavor to learn something about this unique occasion. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد خلت من قبلكم سنن فسيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين. Many patterns of behavior have passed before you. So traverse the land and see what was the fate of those who rejected the truth. Al-Imran 137. It is practically impossible to characterize the importance of ASHURA for the Shia community without Imama and without ASHURA. Shia doesn't exist. So the important thing is to assess and understand this unique event that played such a critical role in the Shia identity and in the past and present. For us, commemorating ASHURA represents two types, the embodiment of two types of Islam, what we call the corrupt Islam versus the pure Islam, two ways of thinking, two thought process. On the one hand, an evil, corrupt, illegitimate Islam versus Ahlul Bayt. What should we learn and how should we commemorate such a unique event? There are those who say, well, since the event contains tragic components, we should focus on the tragedy more than anything else. If you look at the narrative, their lectures, their books, their writing, they purely focus on how to commiserate and how to commemorate this tragic component of the incidents. Let me be clear that no one can deny the tragic components of ASHURA. If you go through at least the last few days of the incident from 7th or 8th of Muharram 61 to 11th or 12th and until later, tragedy is part of the whole structure. But should we focus on this component at the expense of anything else? One view says yes. Another view says that we really need to go back and assess 50 years after the demise of the Holy Prophet, Ummah that was guided and led by the Holy Prophet from a Jahiliyyah mindset until it reached the pinnacle, at least of those days, suddenly turns around 50 years later on a broad daylight. They slaughter Ahlul Bayt, the grandson of the Holy Prophet, under the banner of Islam. Then we need to find out what's going on. So they focus on the historical component, what went wrong within the society, that within 50 years, so sharp turn, literally, after keeping the appearance of Islam, everything else, the spirit, Islam became devoid of it. The Islam that became liberating and was supposed to liberate the masses early on under the guidance of the Holy Prophet, is hijacked by a group of people that they consider the grandson of the Holy Prophet embodies evil in their mindset. Certainly we need to spend some time assessing it. So they purely focus on the historical perspective. I'm not here, as I indicated on Friday, I'm not here to condone, to critical, accept or reject any of these two opinions. In the right context, they have their own value. What I'm here to say, that for us, people who live under this unique circumstance, how can we benefit from ASHURA? How can we bring down ASHURA into our lives, in which ASHURA becomes not a historical fact, but a living fact now? That is the critical issue. Even recently, we have had comments from, I think a few days ago, Ayatollah Sistani sent an advice to those in Iraq that are planning to go around during the month of Muharram, clearly stating this, that yes, you are responsible as speakers, as people that go around to make people understand of the facts and the reality of ASHURA, but more than anything else, you are responsible to make ASHURA relevant to the contemporary crisis that we are dealing with. And if that is our goal and our responsibility now, I don't believe the tragic focus or the historical component is going to address the crisis that we are dealing with and find an answer. What is the relevance of ASHURA in our lives now? We are confronted with a number of crises. How do we deal with it? There is no doubt that behind every religious martyrdom there is a story. This story gives shape and meaning to the martyrdom itself. It explains why it did take place. And also, there are universal values within the slogans and the messages of this uprising that we can bring into our today history. Karbala was no exception. If you start from the beginning of the movement from Medina to Mecca and from Mecca to Karbala, constantly we come across number of messages. Inni lam akhruj, in a letter or a response to his brother Imam Hussein, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, and Inni lam akhruj ashiran wala batiran. وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي رسول الله. I'm not an arrogant person. The rising is for a purpose. It's not just willy-nilly. And the purpose is to revive the ummah. So this is one. ألا ترون إن الحق لا يعمل به وأن الباطل لا ينهى عنه. Another message. Don't you see, nobody cares about justice and nobody prevents injustice. And the number of other messages that we have. So when we come to understanding and bringing ASHURA, or trying to find, as one of the brothers this morning in our meeting Sunday morning asked a question, he said, why do we commemorate ASHURA? If we pose this question to those who purely focus on the tragic component, we commemorate ASHURA because it is a tragic event. That should be their answer. The second group would say, well, we want to understand the history of it. But both of these keeps us in the past. Why do we commemorate ASHURA now, after 1,400, almost 1,400 years? There must be a different answer, that it becomes a living issue now. There was a conference organized, I believe, in Ottawa or Toronto during the mid-1990s, way back beyond the age of a number of you, by a group of brothers and sisters called the Khoja community in Toronto. A Shia Ithna Ashari sister stood up and criticized the speaker. The seminar or the conference was on the importance of Fatima al-Zahra in our daily life. And this is, quote unquote, what the sister said. Maulana, Fatima al-Zahra died 1,400 years ago, or was martyred 1,400 years ago. It's history. What she has got to do with our life today. This comment was not made by, say, somebody who did not understand Shia Islam, did not understand the importance of Fatima al-Zahra. Somebody that claims to be part of the Shia Twelvers and says, we see no relevance, as the younger generation, we see no relevance of these historical facts being told and retold again. To a degree, she is right. If we keep focusing on the event that it happened in the past, as if Fatima al-Zahra is not a role model, or she was a role model for people 1,400 years ago, then she has every right to object. We failed to make them the role model in the contemporary life. By the same token, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. If we keep emphasizing that it was a reactionary movement, Yazid called for bay'ah and he didn't want to give bay'ah. A reactionary movement. What's Imam Hussein got to do with now, our crisis today? Where is the relevance of the uprising to our own time? This is where we need to focus on history. For some people, history is dead. It's a bunch of stories or narratives here and there that we simply talk about. Islam, on the other hand, approaches history as a living reality. First, if you look at the verses in the Holy Quran, although Quran is not a book of history, but certainly within it there are a number of stories, qasas, that reminds the reader to focus, contemplate and reflect. كذلك Surah Yusuf, كذلك نقص عليك من أنباء ما قد سبق. We are telling you the story of the past. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص. We are giving you the best stories, or telling you the best. إن في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب. Those who contemplate, they learn a lesson from these stories. So number one, it reminds the reader that there are stories in the past that they need to read. The second step is to contemplate, to encourage the reader after reading the stories to contemplate on what we call universal values that exist in these stories. The story in the unique context may not repeat itself or may not repeat themselves. But if we look at these values or context will repeat itself. When we hear speakers talking about كل يوم عاشوراء وكل أرض كربلاء, what does that mean? Every day is Ashura and every land is Karbala. It reminds us that there is a perpetual conflict between haqq and batil from the beginning until the end of time. Every day has its own Yazid and its own Imam Hussein. Where do we locate ourselves? That's the critical issue. Whether, even if we keep repeating the story of Ashura, but our deeds clearly positions us with the camp of Yazid, then everything else has to be forgotten. Any ideology, Islam including, when it comes to the rise and the fall of the nations, there should be some kind of views. It's the reading of history, reading of these qasas, the stories that clearly defines how a Muslim society should rise, under what condition, and under what condition it will fall. There are four major conditions that Islam, when we read these stories, that Islam focuses upon. Number one, the absence or presence of justice. If justice is present, the society takes the ascent. Absence of justice, it will descend. إن فرعون علا في الأرض, the story of Pharaoh. وجعل أهلها شيعا. At the end of that surah, ayah, إنه كان من المفسدين. Corrupt. The absence of justice within the society leads to corruption, and corruption leads to descent and disintegration. By the way, those of you who are academically inclined, look at Al-Muqaddamah for Ibn Khaldun, that he takes these ideas and puts it into an anthropological kind of thesis and presents it, that the rise and fall of Ummah. Number two, wahda, ittihad and tafriqa, unity and disunity within the community. We saw these banners suddenly appeared after 9/11. United we stand, divided we fall. That's exactly what we see it in verses of the Holy Quran. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Al Imran 103. إِنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقُ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. You follow these ideas here and there, it's going to lead you to division. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا فَتَفْشَلُوا وَتَذْهَبَ رِيحَكُمْ. Your power if you divide, your power disappears. The critical nature of unity, even if you are on batil, to guide you through to the ascent, is quite clear from one of the sermons of Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullah salam alayh, in which he blames his disciples. And he says, I wish Muawiyah would take 10 of you and we will give me one of his followers. Why? باتفاقهم على باطلهم وتفرقكم عن حقكم. You are divided, they are united. They know Muawiyah is on batil, but still they are united behind them. And I tell you, I'm the Imam, the Khalifa, and I tell you to go and fight Muawiyah. If it's a little bit cold, you say wait until it gets warm a little bit. When it gets warmer, you say it's too warm, let's wait until the weather changes. I wish you filled my heart with pain. I wish he takes 10 of you and gives me one of his followers. So the nature of unity is critical. We disunited or united, depends on which one. Amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy 'anil munkar. When Quran wants to say why is it that Bani Israel they went through the crisis that they had and the failure, it reminds them of the fact that when they saw munkar and evil, they really did not take a stance in front of it. كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه لبئس ما كانوا يفعلون. Ma'idah 79. أأمروا بالمعروف حديث أأمروا بالمعروف وانهوا عن المنكر أو لسلط الله عليكم شراركم فيدعو خياركم فلا يستجاب. Do your amr bil ma'ruf, encourage the good deed, discourage from doing evil. Otherwise, the nature, once corruption takes over, the worst will come to power, and the best have been marginalized, and you keep praying, oh Lord, mercy, and we want some way out, but there is no way. And finally, fasad, corruption, moral corruption. Here we see Quran, when it wants to refer to morally corrupt individuals, focuses primarily on the well-off and those who are what Quran calls mutrafun. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا فِي قَرْيَةٍ مِّن نَذِيرٍ إِلَّا قَالَ مُتْرَفُوهَا إِنَّا بِمَا أُرْسِلْتُمْ بِهِ كَافِرُونَ. Those who live in absolute affluence, they would not listen to any warning, and they do not want any change in society because they have an axe and a benefit within the system to continue. If you look at the slogans of Imam Hussein salawatullah salam alayhi, we see that all of these factors existed during that period. No wonder when he says, وَإِذَا بُلِيَتِ الْإِسْلَامِ بِرَاعٍ مِثْلَ يَزِيدٍ فَعَلَى الْإِسْلَامِ السَّلَامِ. If ultimately, after all the pain that we have gone through, the leader becomes somebody, or Khalifa, representative of the Holy Prophet, becomes Yazid, then we might as well forget about Islam. There's nothing left of it. All four. Injustice, أَلَا تَرَوْنَ إِنَّ الْحَقْ لَا يُعْمَلُ بِهِ. So society became unjust. Corruption, the society divided itself between the haves and the have-nots. The disunity, again, the same thing. Amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar, nothing. So society was literally on the shore of the abyss. If he would not have risen, Islam nothing would have been left of it. What you would have had years ago is what we are having with the Takfiris and the Salafis and ISIS and the rest of it. That would have been Islam. Inshallah, as I have approached the end of my time, we would continue with these concepts or themes in the coming nights, and hopefully we will conclude once the time is right. May Allah protect us all from following shaitan and disobeying Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings and grant us the privilege of being among the true followers of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This year, unfortunately, because of the way it's been structured, there are no QAs after, so we will wait until another program. Thank you.
Let's all have a loud salawat for Mawlana for that beautiful lecture, please. Ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Thank you for enlightening us, Mawlana. Inshallah, as we go throughout the 11 nights, we're going to gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom from you, inshallah. Next, we're going to have a little poetry. We have Sister Fatima Najdi. She's going to come up and recite some poetry for us, all of us. Let's have a loud salawat, ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad for her, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I have two poems for you, inshallah, today. The first one, like the Maulana told us and taught us today, is it's very important for us to make Karbala and ASHURA relevant to our contemporary times. So this poem is entitled Death is Pressing. It's in regards to the Karbala and ASHURA of our times today. If I can ask for a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The worlds of the people of the cloak are catching up to us. The worlds of the people of the cloak, Ahl al-Kisa, are catching up to us. Their supporter spirit live in each commander. Each lover and martyr before us gives to us, and so it allows Daesh to topple over. We've agreed that nothing is greater than Muhammad. His family, 13 mirrors of the greatest man to walk ever. Each moment today calls for the strength of Muhammad's supporters. Death is pressing onto the pounding hearts of Al-Mahdi soldiers. Tragedy after tragedy would make them think we've weakened. Yet haven't they realized that we only succumb to our might? Our hearts may break and our tears may flow, but death is pressing, and our serenity comes from the moments that we bleed for our beloved. There wasn't a time where truth was left untouched. There was never a time where truth was left untouched. It's been beaten and thrown, and still its voices have never hushed. One moment in time when Muhammad came with his love, we were all left in a silent awe, but with a roaring strength. Let a moment pass where our love is left unsaid, and you'd see oceans collapse from our silence. We don't only fight for the love in our hearts. We don't only fight for the love in our hearts, but also for the nature that was left mourning Hussein. The injustices against our prides may leave our breath shallow, our fists turn cold and numb, but how many of us have still stood as sentries? Their blood is priceless. These martyrs today, their blood is priceless. Just as those 72 stood, worth more than the heavens, Hussein and his supporters are our supporters, so let us never fail them. These explosions are not our losses, nor are they hurtful. They act only as our driving force behind each prayer and moment of faith. Let Hussein's story be a testament to our unwavering strength, and let his supporters continue to inspire our fight and its beauty. And when Allah says, be patient with a beautiful patience, when Allah says, be patient with a beautiful patience, are we doing anything but when we dress in our armor and stand defiantly? Our hearts never tire because God's infinite power is our greatest supporter. Each of our backbones rely on His majesty, and let it manifest with our awaited Mahdi. It's our ability to fight till our bodies end that all have envied. They ask and they inquire about our grandeur and fearlessness, so we give them answers that only point to the ship of salvation. There's nothing worth more to us, even when our bodies lay apart. The taste of martyrdom we are all craving, and we trample upon all the ridicule. Our lives are incomplete without death reached at the service of their infallibility. Tell me, if our lives are sanctioned to emulate their way of beauty, how can we not offer each second and become their devoted protectors? I swear by God we'd let this next breath be our last if it provides us with the taste of honey. Hussein's army was not only for his protection, but also for our own. So let Ali Akbar fuel your devotion, and let Qasim provide you with happiness. If in the presence of their Imam they went insane with their love, how can we not in his absence? If in the presence of their Imam they went insane with their love, how can we not in his absence? Our sanity is only derived if we fight our oppressors and crush the heads of terrorism. Our own Muhammad today is waiting for our reply. Does that not fuel your heart? Does that not provide armor enough? Does that not give your heart a purpose? From our love we've lost our sanity. From our love we've lost our sanity, but remained calm in our battles. We've remained calm in our battles. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This next poem is entitled Two Parallels. It personifies the earth and the heavens, and they are fighting each other over Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So the heavens are begging Imam Hussein to leave the earth and die, and to come to them faster, and the earth is begging Imam Hussein alayhi salam to stay. There is one poem that I allude to in this poem by the infamous Sufi poet Hafiz, and he says, even after all of this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that, it lights up the whole sky. If I can ask for Allah, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Being the holder of the eyes that only weep for Hussein, gave us the ears to hear the heavens and the earth call out his name. His body is here, and the earth is thankful for the remnant. But on the day that someone somewhere knew he was going to fall, the heavens and the earth had their first war. His body is here, and the earth is thankful for the remnant. But on the day that someone somewhere knew he was going to fall, the heavens and the earth had their first war, and we hear its missiles echo, the kisses the earth showered him with, and the warmth the heavens sent him. The earth says, don't leave me with just your body. It'll be broken and with no Hussein. The heaven says, come to me where you'll have Abbas and all those who came to you proud. Understand my grief that when you die, it can't be consoled by the thought of my own mortality. The earth says, understand my grief that when you die, it can't be consoled by the thought of my own mortality. I'll die when everything dies, and so I still have many losses to hold. I have created for you gardens upon gardens, and no one dared to come and sit waiting for you. How will I lose your children ahead without you? You're the one who walked upon me gently, and so I quiver when others walk upon me. Hussein, I have your mother wailing, asking for you. Won't you bring her peace and die for justice? Won't your head come forward, avenging her rib? I don't want you to suffer, but I want you within my reach. I know I'm simply the earth and am perishable. But Hussein, if you leave me, I won't know how to calm down. I'd be like the lion that roars but is never hushed unless be it by you. I'm calling with all of the angels to have you near. We know what's to come, but we don't want to watch. We don't want it to be prolonged. Hussein, just answer each angel, each level, and Fatima's call. The earth says, Hussein, there isn't a thing that doesn't know your fate. There isn't a thing that doesn't know your fate, yet we all stand in shock when you leave us, as if clueless. I'm the dirt you walk upon, and how great a blessing it has been. I've been serving you the best I can for whatever you needed me to be. I thanked God each moment for having you be upon me. As the heavens I am pure. As the heavens I am pure. Hussein, as the grandson of the Prophet, you are pure. Tell me, why aren't we together? As the heavens I am pure. Hussein, as the grandson of the Prophet, you are pure. Tell me, why aren't we together? I know they are throwing around bloodshed, and I know you can't stay with me much longer, but Hussein, I need your warmth to keep me from dying. I need you in your body and not away from it. 7 levels of me yearn for you, and when you hit wave on level 1, I await all 7 to bend backwards in awe. Hussein, I can't wait for that flexibility. The earth says, forget this sun. The earth says, forget this sun. I need you. Hussein, we are attached. The sun in the sky doesn't tell me that I owe her, not because we are in love, but because we both owe you. Forget this sun. Hussein, I need you. We are attached. The sun in the sky doesn't tell me that I owe her, not because we are in love, but because we both owe you. Being where I am, I can see it all. Hussein, I can see that our words have disturbed you. They tugged you back and forth from life and death, but don't we all know that this will all end in moments to come? The earth says, Hussein, I feel Shimr walking closer to you. Hussein, I feel Shimr walking closer to you, and my own dust weeps. I hate carrying him. Forgive me for the firm ground I held. I just didn't want you to shake with a broken back. Hussein, I feel Shimr walking closer to you, and my own dust weeps. I hate carrying him. Forgive me for the firm ground I held. I just didn't want you to shake with a broken back. The pain will subside, and the voice that you hear, it's your mother's. Ali is waiting for your face to smile, because right now, all he feels is your pain. Your pain is left here with us and is buried in me. Your body has no you, but I would die if I couldn't be the one to hold it. You leave me with just your body, and it's not even whole. You leave me with just your body, and it's not even whole. But how thankful am I to host yearly gatherings at your shrine? How thankful am I to hold all of these lovers' gatherings to you? How thankful am I to answer your call years later? Hussein, all of these thanks are sweet, but they all stem from your grief. They all stem from your grief. Being the holder of the eyes that only weep for Hussein gave us the ears to hear the heavens and the earth call out his name. The heavens and the earth call out his name. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsan, sister. Thank you for that beautiful poetry. Let's have a loud salawat to honor her, please. Ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next, we're going to have our majlis. We're going to have Brother Yunus Maki come up and do a majlis. Have a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, please, for him.
قد أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد نبيه وآله وسلم تسليما اللهم لك الحمد على ما جرى به قضاؤك في أوليائك الذين استخلصتهم لنفسك ودينك السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله غريب يا مظلوم شهيد كربلاء يا ليتنا ثم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters, peace be upon you. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Brothers and sisters, the purpose of Imam Hussein's message lies in the very purpose of our existence. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, the goal, our goal, is to reach our ultimate human potential, our perfection. Yet this can only take place when one attaches themselves to such perfection, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this only happens too by disassociating oneself from imperfection. Hussein attached himself to Allah, and this was his very purpose. And by this he was able to attain his ultimate potential and perfection. For this reason he brilliantly stated, I only desire to spread good values, as in I only desire to spread that which brings us closer to our ultimate potential. And I only desire to prevent evil, as in that which takes us away from it. This too is the very reason why we have chosen to have an audience with Imam Hussein alayhi salam for the next 10 nights and shed our tears for him. Because perhaps if just for 20 minutes a day and just for 10 days a year, we attach ourselves to Hussein's perfection, maybe, just maybe then, we too will be attaching ourselves to the ultimate perfection. And therefore, we too, like Hussein, will reach our ultimate potential. For this reason, my dear brothers and sisters, we gather tonight, and the Imams have stated that whomever says, I wish I was with you, O Hussein, I wish I was with those whom attach themselves with Hussein, they will receive the rewards of those who attach themselves to Hussein, his supporters, on the day of ASHURA. And verily, they will be at great success. God had sent 124,000 messengers to achieve this goal. Each had their own successors and those that hurt those successors. Life was and still is a constant battle between good and evil. It's a constant battle between those who sought perfection and those who stood against it. Yet the last messenger was the most supreme. Hence his successors were the greatest, but their enemies were even worse. No matter what, they stood firm. But no more than 50 years had passed since the death of Prophet Muhammad, and the Muslim empire was sliding into corruption under ruthless tyrants. They stole the reins of leadership and appointed the most evil of men. Imam Hussein's brother and father had tried to mend the Muslim empire, which led to Imam Ali's martyrdom while bowing peacefully in prayer. Then came Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein's brother, who, when left with none to support him, was forced to construct a peace treaty with Muawiyah, the leader of these ruthless men. And so, this was all done in an all-courageous effort to unite the young nation of his grandfather. For almost 10 years, This peace treaty was successful in protecting thousands of lives, and it enabled Imam Hassan to spread the message of divine perfection. Yet Muawiyah would poison Imam Hassan and the treaty would be broken. Among the conditions of this treaty was to appoint Imam Hussein as the successor after Muawiyah's death, so that God's divine plan could be implemented upon this earth. This condition would too be broken, and Muawiyah would appoint his own son, Yazid, as his successor. Yazid, a drunkard man of illegitimate birth who would speak publicly of his desire to end God's message. Yazid knew that in order to gain legitimacy, he would need Imam Hussein, the purest one's allegiance. This allegiance would signify that Yazid was a legitimate successor of Prophet Muhammad, and he could then destroy Islam from within. And here, the tragedy began. Ya Mawla, Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Mazlum, Ya Shaheed Karbala, Ya Maslub al-Amamati wal-Rida. Imam Hussein brilliantly faced Yazid's empire, and news of this spread like fire throughout the Islamic world. Yazid ordered his governor in Medina to forcefully take allegiance from Imam Hussein, or else he warned Imam Hussein of death. Upon being ordered to the governor's palace, Imam Hussein entered bravely with his brother Abbas and 30 men. He ordered his brother Abbas and the men to stay outside and watch from behind. Yet I ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, on the day of ASHURA, where was Abbas and the 30 men to stand behind Imam Hussein? Where were they to protect him? Even his 6-month-old child was taken away from him. Imam Hussein makes his first stand here with full courage. He tells Yazid's governor, Walid, and those present, let us bid farewell to Islam if it is tribulated with a leader like Yazid. If we have a leader that will not let us seek perfection, then let us bid farewell to this religion. Imam Hussein saw the threat on his life, and so he gathered his family and 50 men, women and children, and decided to seek security near the Kaaba during the holy month of Rajab. For no matter how evil these people were, they would not kill near the Kaaba. Imam Hussein was seeking power. That's what the enemies thought. They thought Imam Hussein was seeking power. Yet I asked them, if Imam Hussein was really seeking power, why would he take only 50 men, women, and children to face a whole empire of 30,000? Imam Hussein was not seeking power. Imam Hussein, upon receiving letters of support from the people of Kufa, sent nearly 6 emissaries, among them his cousin, brother-in-law, and beloved trustee, Muslim ibn Aqil. That night, Imam Hussein bid farewell to this beloved city of his grandfather. Imagine, brothers and sisters, bidding farewell to your home, bidding farewell to all that you know, and knowing that you will never return. And he spent that night sleeping beside his grandfather and mother's graves. Hussein, from the mere age of 5, was left behind with no mother. And so for the next 53 years, he longed for his mother's lap. He longed for the comfort and security it would provide him. He had no mother, and so he walked slowly towards the Prophet's grave and said, As-salamu alayka ya Jaddah. As-salamu alayka ya Rasulallah. Peace be upon you, O Messenger of God. Your grandson Hussein is here. He spent the night crying heavily until he slipped into a deep sleep and dreamt. In that dream, he begged his grandfather to relieve him of this world. Please, my grandfather, please, take me into your grave. Hug me into your grave. Please, grandfather, take me in with you. Lay me to your side. Place my cheek upon your cheek. There is no need for this world, please, grandfather. Imam Hussein heard his grandfather with a broken heart tell him, oh Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Habibi, Ya Hussein, you must return to this world so that you may be granted martyrdom. There is a perfection that cannot be met except through martyrdom. We are all waiting for you, oh Hussein. I promise, Hussein, I will not enter heaven until I have your hand in my hand. I promise, your father promises, your mother promises, your brother promises, we will not leave you alone, oh Hussein. And so Imam Hussein, startled, woke up from his sleep, shivering. He was scared, not from death, but from knowing that a group of people will enter hell because they killed Allah's most beloved person. He entered upon his family repeating, there is no power but Allah. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. And so he went towards his house. His brother Muhammad met him and asked him, have you decided to leave, O Hussein? Have you decided to meet your fate, O Hussein? His brother told him to go to Mecca only if he can ensure his safety, and if not, then Yemen, for its people have the biggest heart towards the family of the Prophet. Imam Hussein left Mecca. Imam Hussein left to Mecca. Imam, what security was granted for you there? The swords of the people were waiting on God's most peaceful home. And if they could reach you, O Hussein, they swore they would drench the Kaaba with your blood. Tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, please look towards the sky. Tonight, according to traditions, the very shirt of Imam Hussein is raised above the skies by the angels, and all of them weep. It is as if I see a shirt torn, as if I see a shirt torn from the hooves of the horses, drenched in the blood of a 6-month child, ripped from its chest. Husaynan, 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 Hussein. حسينان 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 حسين أمرر على جدث الحسين وقل لأعظمه الزكية يا أعظما ما نلت من يا أعظما ما زلت من واطفاء ساكبة روية ما لذ عيش بعد ردك بالجياد الأعوجية. Together, حسينان 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 حسين. Let us all tell Hussein that we answer his call together. لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين. And to the Hussein of our time, please stand and let us give him our allegiance with dua al-hujjah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. For all of our deceased, for the dead and living, and for the peaceful companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, please recite a Surah Al-Fatiha following a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you so much, brother. Let's have a loud salawat to honor him, please. Ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This concludes tonight's program. Inshallah, we'll see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. and for the next several nights. I challenge everyone, inshallah, that they could bring at least one other person to the Jame so we could have more people share in this event. Thank you so much. Wassalamu alaikum.